This is interesting. I mean, the Cubs and White Sox have only made a trade 14 times in their history. Should we read into the urgency, the fact that Theo called up the White Sox for help?
Absolutely. The Cubs are one of the biggest failures this year. I mean, they put nobody except Wade Davis in the All-Star game, and it was unprecedented, and he was not on the team last year, so it was unprecedented not to have a player from World Series champion not be in the All-Star game. So, and the year before they had seven, not seven starters, but seven players, including the whole infield, if you recall. And so, people are still Cubs fans still kind of high from the buzz of winning the first World Series in 108 years. But then, as that wears off, as it was wearing off, it gets to like, holy smokes, is this the same team? On paper, it is the same team, and they're behind the Milwaukee, Bucks, Brewers, whoever they are. I mean, nobody takes Milwaukee seriously here.
Wow.
So that's just adds a little fuel to the fire. But they had to do something, and this was kind of Theo Epstein's, second year after the win. His legacy is kind of good. Okay, you can do it one time, sure. Not that wasn't the greatest thing ever, but what do you do now? And, Aroldis Chapman is gone. They acquired him at the end of last year. That was a huge part for them going down the stretch. It was like just ran a bazooka for the, for the playoffs and the last, month or two of the season. So the Quintana has been out there dangling all season long. The White Sox have been in a rebuild mode, and in fact, what a lot of us have given everybody grief for here in Chicago, I just wrote about it yesterday, was that everybody is following, all the other pro teams are following the Cubs' plan of tearing their teams down, basically tanking and starting all over again. So that's what the Sox are doing. They got rid of Chris Sale, he starts in the All-Star game. They've got rid of Adam Eaton. They've gotten rid of so many players, and they're just starting at the very bottom. So the Cubs are not at the bottom. Purportedly, they're at the top or near the top. They got to try to stay there. So a guy like Quintana, he started to turn it around. He didn't start out this year very well at all. Obviously, people here in Chicago have watched him pitch. That they watch both teams. But, there is a little bit of that stigma not doing a trade with a team right here in town, because if that player does really well, you'll never hear the end of it from the other fans of the other team.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on radio stations across the country and audience.
If you like that video, be sure to download our app. Don't have any memory on your phone? Let's start to delete some of those slow-mo videos you have. And you know which ones I'm talking about.